Hi. Well, after much upgrading of the miller, we finally have a fully working machine, which is taking me a lot longer than I expected, unfortunately. I can't afford to spend a huge amount of money straight away on the damn thing. This was the billet. I continued and finished machining the one billet machine scrapped, and that produced this first billet front upright. Now, you can see that's the one, unfortunately, with this kind of horrible nasty mark on it, but progress is progress, unfortunately. There we go. Now, only just pulled out the first semi-finished front upright. We're still going to do the last stop. I'm going to make an angle plate, bolt that to the angle plate on the bed, and then I can machine the hole for the top, and now see another hole for the bottom ball joint. But pretty much she's all there. A little bit of finishing up where the tabs were that held it in. Just about see here, let's see there. But after machining one large chunk of aluminum, we end up with that and a big bucket of swarf. So pretty happy at the moment, I must admit. It's nice finally to have my design uprights completed. Got to work on the rears now. So there's the upright. It's just very standard C5 front bearing in. There we go. Now if we do a quick comparison, there for a second. There we go. This is a LM3000 casting that was originally on the car, with a brand new front stub shaft, which was machined to the Corvette stub size and the Corvette PCD. Obviously has the risers in it at the moment for the bottom and top ball joint or rod ends. Now those will eventually go into here, albeit the top one is actually shorter and the bottom one's the same. This is slightly taller positioning than the original casting. So that weighs 6.5, nearly 7 kilos. This weighs just a tad under 6 kilos, about 5.5. So it's actually a little bit lighter. And obviously I can lower the weight of this probably by another 200 or plus grams. I won't bother for the first car, but what you can technically do, it's not handed at the moment. If I wanted to make it handy, then technically I just machine off the caliper bracket on one side. Don't need a speed signal bolt, so I don't have to worry about anything there. Eventually I'm going to turn this ABS sensor into a speed signal. I've just got to send it through my electronics. It has way too many pulses at the moment for a think of it for a traction control signal. So technically I need to reduce the pulses by quite a lot and turn it from the Hall effect into a square wave so that the ECU can understand it a bit better. But there's a separate electronic board, but seeing as the sensors are already there, it'd be a shame not to use them. We've got one in each corner, so I've got full sensors to play with. So I can machine this side off and make it handed, vice versa, but I can do that as a kind of a second op. I can set it up and machine it off later, which will make it even lighter. So it'll be a good 1.5 kilos, probably lighter than this one in the end. So there we are at the moment. That's front one done. I can go on and make the front suspension. Decided on the first set of front suspension I'm not going to do it solid, which is probably what I'll do, have only adjustment on the camber, which is how the final wishbones will be. For the first car, for the prototype, I'm going to actually make both the bottom and top wall wishbones adjustable, so I can actually dial in the correct amount of caster, and then just keep playing with the caster angle until I get what feels best for the KPI that I'm set to using. So there we go. Finally got a front upright done. So I see. There's bolting these extra holes here. Like I said before, if you have a 0.6 caliper, then technically you bolt them through the back to there. If you don't want to run the 0.6 caliper, you want to run an AP setup, then I'll machine this face off of here and off of there, basically sort of relieving these two holes there, and then I'll bolt on a separate bracket, which will be handed of course, bolt on a separate bracket to run a radial mount AP caliper. It was the only way I could make a single program that basically could do a handed on both for the 0.6 and a handed on both for the AP. So that's what these extra holes are for. They're just basically a mounting point, and I'll have to machine these off because these lugs here will get in the way of the bolts on the AP. So machine those off, and then I'll make an extra bracket that'll fit on the side and then have threaded holes here. So one upright, multiple uses. There you go. Next, the rears. See you soon.